Hello. Okay. Okay. Hello, Petr.
Good evening. Hi. Hi, Anna.
Hi. How are you? How are you dealing with the situation?
I think that's everybody. I'm just confused and waiting that something will happen and we will wake up from this strange dream. It's a different situation that we are used to, obviously.
Yeah. Well, yeah, kind of have the same feeling, but also I was thinking that kind of if we look through history, in order to advance forward, we need to have certain type of crisis, because like Second World War, which was the most devastating and most horrific event in human history, like pushed the humanity really, really far forward. So the only thing that makes me really hopeful that this is something like across these lines as well. So maybe it will make us, I don't know, it will push us all forward in some way or another.
Well, it's an opportunity, of course, and every bad situation has a kind of seed of good situation inside it. It's on us to grab it and take it, and not to be just at home and passively, but to help ourselves and educate ourselves and read books and study. And we have a time now, actually. Of course, I understand that to cope with the food and this new situation itself, but it's an opportunity, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I also think so. So just for people who are watching and don't know Piotr from Prague, Czech Republic, who made a great job you did there. I think nobody else from like close students of Ido have created something similar to what you did.
Well, I don't know if he can say that. It's just a situation that that I have to cope with. That the situation that I have here in my country, I could not afford to have 10 students. I need to have more students. So we just created the bigger organization. So for the people who do not know me, um, we have about 200 students now in Czech Republic. It's going to be 6 years that I'm teaching the Ido Portal method, or the stuff that I'm getting from my teacher Ido. I have 8 more people who are helping me here, and we are in 5 cities now, I think: Prague, Brno, Ostrava, Pilsen, and Olomouc. So all the main points of the country are covered. But it's just something that happened organically. I didn't plan it. There was a demand to do it, so I did it, and we are somehow doing it.
Yeah, but it's great because you expanded kind of throughout the whole country, not just in the city, but you're offering this with the same quality in like across the board in different places, because you obviously somehow need to control the quality with which people are teaching the stuff.
Of course.
And this is a very hard thing to do, because sometimes it's very hard to do within the facility in the same place, like find the common language with the people and really be looking into the same direction. So what was the main, how do you do it? Like what is the main thing that allows you to keep the quality? Because I know you have great teachers, and I met most of the guys I think that you work with. And they're all very serious practitioners, and they're all really great students. So teachers. So yeah, that's how you manage to find those people and keep them there.
People sometimes I get this question. What can I do in order to be the teacher? What can I do with you in order to teach for you? And it's not something that I will, create an advertisement and I will look for the teacher that I need to cover the group in another city. All the guys who are working with me, they practice with me for years. I know them for many years because they were first and foremost students. So I know the character. I know how they behave, the charisma. You know I know that they are loyal, that they are of course practitioners. And sooner or later, it will just become the thing that they could maybe teach. And so I offered them this opportunity to teach, and they agreed. And I am very picky in choosing the right persons. I will not sell it to anybody because it's a double-edged sword. You need to be very serious about the teaching and also about the practice. And you need to commit to the practice as well, because you need to be part of online coaching with Ido, which means that you are going to work very hard. And if you are not able to do it, you cannot be the guy or the gal who is teaching and who is doing the work. And I take it as very seriously, who I approached and who I offer this kind of job. It's not job for me. It's a mission. And so yeah, all of those 8 guys, they were long-time students. And as for how I did it in Czech Republic, it's a long story, but basically the best way how to approach the market is to create the new market, is to create it. Like you could ride on somebody else's waves. Somebody else is going to do the marketing for you, and you are going to jump on the board and you are going to participate in this kind of stuff, or you will create the wave. And what I believe, what I did, I created the market for this kind of stuff here in Czech. So I start to talk and write about the Ido and his work, about my journey with handstand, and about this unusual kind of training that we are doing, this practice years ago. And it took me really months and years to build some kind of attention, and people starting to notice that I kind of know what I'm talking about, and that I know how to teach maybe, and I'm trying to do the good things. And they jump on the board as well. So that's my advice. If you would like to create something like this, or if you would like to get bigger, create the market. Don't wait. Create it with your work, with the articles and blog posts, and with your own example. You need to create this opportunity for yourself. Because if you really and truly believe it, it will happen, because you live the lifestyle anyway. So why just not to expose it? And for sure, there will be other people in the surrounding area who would think that this is the good way how to practice or how to move, and they will join you.
Yeah. I've been as soon as I really started to have it clear that there is nothing else that I really find as profound and something that gives me so much as the practice that Ido provides. It started kind of be created by itself, by how you're saying, like showing an example. Because I have a little bit different situation. I have a facility that needs to be maintained, which was also kind of it happened by chance. It's weird to say this with such things, but I really never aimed to have a physical business. And then I got an opportunity to have it, and then I was hesitating, I have to tell you at the beginning, to do things the way that Ido advised me to do, and then I also myself always thought they should be done, because the bills needs to be paid, and then you're afraid to people be scared of it and stuff like that. But then eventually when I changed everything and I started doing things the way I believe they should be done, the community that started gathering around it and the people that started to come and connect to the practice, they're very different, very, very different mentality, very different kind of approach to practice. And it also serves as a kind of natural filter also to people who will not be serious about it. And like putting because Spain is not the most serious country. So I was also thinking that maybe being in a Slavic community that brings in people that are really serious, you know, with the guys that I met, the teachers, they're like, you know, head first. And I'm the same way also, being from Russia. And yeah, and I thought that I was blaming it on just lack of seriousness in the culture, but that's not true also. Like I found people that are really committing to this, but yeah, it's never easy, I think, anywhere. In any part of the world, it's not an easy task.
Mm.
And at the beginning also, you were the person who saw me at the very first Ido Portal workshop that I attended in my life.
Yeah.
That was a very different person that you saw there.
Yeah, I remember that, Anna, very, very. I have this picture in my head, of course, and I know that you made a huge amount of work and a big amount of progress. That was a different person back then. It's 5 years ago, no? 2014?
Well, yeah. 5 years ago.
Yeah. Mm. So yeah, and I would like to add one point. You mentioned that you were a bit hesitant when it advised you how to do the things and how to proceed with the practice. Me too. I think everybody is kind of hesitant to do it, but at the end of the day, if you don't put on some kind of mask, if you are really yourself, and you as a practitioner, and you as a honest person who is going to the market with this practice, you cannot fail. But if you put some kind of mask on you and you will say, we are doing, you know, something special, or we are the best in the world, and that's not true. That's a lie. But if you are true to yourself and to others, they will see it. They will see it and they will come as well. And the second point, I don't think that I have like serious practitioners. I have people who are like normal people, and they discover that this is very good for them. It just happened. They came and they said, oh, this is interesting, and they become serious maybe about the practice. They still have a families, and they still have a child, and they still have a businesses, but they will commit 4 hours per week, even with a couple of kids and with all the problems. They will come, and let me tell you, in a couple of years, those people are different people. And I am very fortunate to have students who are with me for 3-4 years now. And after 3 years, you are able to change how the person moves. Really, that's a lot. That's a lot of hours and a lot of work. And I am very happy to see it, because now it starts to give me some fruit. This is something that I see now, not after 3 weeks or 3 months, 3 years. Give me 3 years or 5 years, and you will change the person. And that's something I'm very proud of, and I'm very happy.
Yeah, this is something to be really proud of, because I'm trying every time to my students to like put it in their head that this is how it should be approached. This is the way to do it. Because again, I'm not trying to like shove anything down people's throat, but I always trying to be an example for people. And you are like the best witness, I think, out of the whole community, because you saw me when I just came into this, and now I transformed in all the levels. It's not that I have only obtained some physical skill that is impressive, but like everything that I do and every single way that I approach life have changed completely.
Mm.
Yeah, this is I always fail. I'm trying to explain to people in words the result of this practice and how it really transforms your inner strength. But I always struggle. I always struggle to really like shape the sentences in a way so it really reaches the people in the way that practice by doing it reaches your essence, you know, and changes it and twists this. So I don't know, maybe you have a better
definition?
way of saying this. The people that myself, I was trying 2 days ago, like for half an hour I was talking, but I think I still didn't get to the point that I was trying to put across, you know?
You know, I'm studying with Ido for 5 years now. It's going to be 6th year now. I finished the 5th one in mentorship, so I know him from 2015 actually, and I was struggling like all the time with explaining what we are actually doing, like what is the result of the practice. And for me, the result is not the stuff that we are doing in the gym. This is just the way to do something, but I changed as well. As you said, in your case, you changed enormously how you approach your life and how you solve the problems. The same with me. It's like reprogrammed my processes. Everything gets slowly erased and changed, and I am a very different person now as well, like very different, and not from the physical point of view, from mental point of view. And the best thing that Ido told us now in Israel, was it in Israel? Yes, the last time we were in Israel in January, he told us that the stuff that we practice is lifelong discovery. That's it. That's the definition. Lifelong discovery. And either physical, mental, inner, outer, dense, somatic, objects, whatever, but it's discovery and it never ends. It's not going to end, never. So there is no point like learning the handstand or doing the planche or juggling the balls, because you will always get a different version or the harder version. It will never end. So your sole goal is to enjoy this discovery because it's going to last for a lifetime. And that's it. Because as soon as you are able to move, you will move. If you are not able to use your body, you will use your brain, because you are now a different person and you will find something that you are able to do. And it will never end. You should enjoy the way, the process.
Yeah. The process. Yeah, I think also when all this situation we're living now started happening, the way I've been living so far, because it's been also for over 5 years now. I thought that yeah, for me it was also like 5.5, because I started doing online coaching first, and then I went to this event in Prague, which was the first event, and then it was like, and if this would happen 5 years ago, I would probably just fall into the depression and like be panicking all over the place. But then when I started, of course, I have like a loud, let's say, level of anxiety. It was just like a chronic, but like, okay, I need to take care of my community. I need to take care of my business. I need to take care of my life. What do I do like in this situation and that situation? And actually, it happened that I just started reading Taler's book. Do you read this one, Fooled by Randomness?
Yeah. It's the old one, right?
Yeah. It's the old one, where he talks exactly about when you never expect happen, like how we approach it. And I see actually in his thinking, because I think like Ido is influenced a lot by Nassim Taleb, and like his thinking goes very close to the way I was practicing things. And despite like all this obvious like rational thoughts on how do we deal with this and how it's gonna continue, I was really calm. Like, and I stay calm. Like it kind of gives me the sensation that I can do anything really, and I can adapt to any situation, whatever comes. If things are really going to get gnarly with all of that, it gives me confidence in the fact that I will be able to overcome any situation. Yeah. What were your first kind of reaction when all this happens? Because I think it's what interests people the most. Now, how do you now? We probably will be in confinement for at least a month, and people don't know what to do with themselves. Like for me, the main problem for people in such situation is inability to stay with themselves, and kind of look inside and organize their time. So yeah, what was your line of thinking when all this started happening, regardless everything?
Well, of course, the first thing on my mind was this could be real dangerous for many people, and many people could get harmed or could die. The second one was, of course, this is a Nassim Taleb black swan. We all know that something is going to happen, but we don't know when and what is going to be this kind of event. Another thing was also about my family, of course, my community, about my business, because it's going to harm us all, like from the financial point of view, because we are not working now. But at the end of the day, we have more time now. we have more time to do whatever the fuck we want, because we cannot do anything else. So you can study, you could watch Netflix, you could be with your family, you could combine all those, you could go to the nature, because you could not go to the work. And what can I do? Like, there are things that I could control, and there are things that I could not control, and this is out of my control completely. So actually, I'm using the time now, and I do my best to, again, study more, practice more. I try to be with my family. I am not that good at it, because I'm like close to the computer and studying the resources now, because I think this is the really like a stepping stone. This is the opportunity to like a jump one stage up, like one level up, because in the everyday life you have so much time and so much available, even the thinking processes, that what you can do. And now you have suddenly like couple of hours every day in order to improve something, or in order to think about something and learn a new game, or study new language, read the new books, because you do not travel, or you do not commute to work. I don't have lessons with my students, so I need to use this time. It would be foolish to just waste it. So I'm trying my best to like jump this level.
Yeah, no, for me it's also, I was like, oh, well, it's a bummer, but then I can spend more time doing all those things that I never have time to do during the normal life. Like, I still try to, like, okay, this is the time I'm going to read, this is the time I'm going to play a guitar, like I'm going to singing lesson, like, some little bits of things that I want to do. I treat them all as a practice, not only online coaching.
Yeah, sure.
All of these things, like, it's not like 5 hours of online coaching that I'm doing, but also at least an hour and a half of all these other things that are just as important. But now I have all day for this, and yeah, I think it's great. Besides other things, but also, as I have been exposed to the practice, I know how to train myself. Even if I wouldn't be doing online coaching, I would know how to structure my own training. But a lot of people are struggling. Like, for my students, I offer them now, like, I send them programming that I had for this month, so they do it at home. But I know that for people, it's really hard to put themselves to do things. So I know that not all of you are doing your homework. I know that they're watching. I know that they're watching.
Of course, but at the end of the day, it's about doing, as Ido again would say, do the fucking work.
Exactly.
You need to choose. You need to choose what kind of person you would like to be, and from that you will choose your habits, and you will choose the books that you would like to read, and you will choose the time that you will allocate to your study and to your physical practice and to your family, whatever. It's the decision. And there was a question, what I study now, from Leonardo. So I study Spanish for half a year now with the help of Duolingo. I just choose it six months ago, because two of my friends from mentorship are both from Colombia. So I just wanted to honor them and to talk with them with their native language when we are together on mentorship meetings. And I study a lot about the internal work now. So about the yoga, I do a lot of meditation. I study a lot of Tai Chi, and like the principles under the Tai Chi. And this is something that I'm now very passionate about. There is like a whole universe hidden inside those subjects. So it's not that much like this external world, it's more the internal stuff.
Yeah, I think it's very important since I was introduced to it by Dudi like 2 years ago, maybe.
Mm.
I mean, I started meditating before that, but not in the same way. But after I started doing the internal work that he showed us, all the internal organ massage and breathing, I also feel that I have transformed, like internally as a person. Like that, I think was the strongest catalyzer for me to change. Really.
You know, for me, it's again something that Ido told us years ago, that we need to meditate and we need to do this work and we need to sit. And I was like, no, I would like to do the handstands and one arms and whatever. And when we were sitting together on mentorship meetings, like 30 minutes, 3 times per day, I was like, no, I would like to move, let's do something. I don't want to sit. Now is the most important practice for me. I like enjoy it. I sit for hour or 2 hours per day sometimes, and there is a enormous benefit that I have to recommend it to all your listeners and to you and your students and my students, and I emphasize this almost every day. Then this is something that we need to do, and there is a great potential and like a treasure inside us. We don't just see it now, and we need to do it more, from the health benefit, from mental benefit, from you know, all the perspectives.
I agree. I've been doing it myself. When I was first I started doing it. I went to a retreat with the brother of a friend who works with addictions, and like he had a very hard life, like very bizarre childhood. You know, the one that you think you had it hard, and that person tells you stories and like, I'm good, I'm good, like abuse and all this like horrible things. And that was the first time I was introduced to meditation practice, which was really kind of strong breakthrough because I had my things as well that I needed to work on. But then maybe half a year after that, we went to Berlin to the internship with Ido. And the first day after like 9 hours of practice, we did standing meditation for an hour.
Okay, that's hard. That's harsh.
I think something cracked, but like literally, I think something got broken inside me, but that kind of repaired itself, you know, because that was horrible. It was so, but probably the fact that the figure of Ido like was standing 2 meters next to me made me go through it. But seriously, if it would be any other person, I would just run and say, "Fuck you." Like, fuck you and your stuff. I'm not going to do this. This is bullshit. Because I had panic attacks. I was crying. I was shaking. Like, it was so weird. I was feeling that I'm falling back all the time. When nothing, I was then, we watched the video, like, you know, time lapse. And I was just standing still, you know, like, but it was all happening in my head. But yeah, I think I'm afraid for people who have some kind of trauma that can be damaging, you know, if you throw them into this kind of stuff right away. But so I don't know really how to recommend going in such extreme things, but I also think like my own experience, like it's like throwing you in the water and then you learn how to swim. Because after this one time, like it changed completely. Like I learned how to meditate without any instruction. I was just said to stand and not move. Like, and then it started to make sense kind of inside of me. You know, that's weird. I always find it weird, and I didn't yet find an explanation to this.
You know this kind of stuff. I was laughing now because I know exactly how you felt. I was there as well, and Ido told us a couple of times that sometimes you need to take somebody and like put them into acid, and when you take them out, they would be different. And that's the experience you went through. It was one time only, Not you don't need to go to monastery for 10 years. Maybe 1 hour is enough. And you will go out like completely different person because something will switch. And there was a question about how to start to meditate in the right way. I don't know what is the right way, but how I was introduced to this practice, at the beginning you need to sit and or stand, but standing for me is way more difficult. So sitting is the first thing. You need to sit and don't move. So for 10 minutes, maybe just find a position and don't move a muscle. If you would like to scratch your back, or if your shoulder is hurting, don't move. And after that, do it twice. Do 10 minutes morning, 10 minutes evening. Do 15 minutes, do 20 minutes. And when you are able to do not move your physical body in 10 minutes or 20 minutes, you can start to dig inside, and you could start to focus on your breath, or focus on the counting, or focus on your thoughts. But the first step, don't move your body, because through that you are able to like go inside through the stillness of the body. And the question about the Vipassana course, no, but I did something similar, not the Vipassana like the full one, but I did like 4 hours sitting every day and 4 hours of like slow walking every day, couple of days in a row, and it was like mind-blowing experience. I'm used to sit now, and I enjoy it, but there is a difference between sitting 1 hour and sitting 4 hours. And after that, yeah, and believe me, you will do it 3-4 days in a row, and you are a different person. Like totally.
Completely. I know someone who did a Vipassana course and went to a mental hospital after this, like with a very acute psychosis, because it was not the right time for him, I think, to do this. But yeah, most people I know, it was a very transforming.
Well, it could be, I don't want to say dangerous, but it could be something that maybe you need to just dive into this kind of water very slowly and very gently.
Yeah.
And I started very slowly, very gently. I really started with 10 minutes. And now I'm able to sit 1 hour or stand for half an hour, and I really enjoy it. But at the beginning, it was really like I was a gorilla in the cage. I would like to go out, and now I find it very beneficial, but it took some time. So
yeah, you just need to keep on doing that. I've been recommending to my students the app by Sam Harris. I don't believe in apps in general for this kind of things, and I've tried a few, but then I've tried the Sam Harris one, and I think for people who have never been exposed to meditation, maybe it can be the way to start. I think you should do like just go through everything he has there, and then forget about the apps and just do the sitting. But he kind of explains some concepts that might make you, oh, okay, I never thought about this. So maybe
there is a lots of different schools and different opinions and ideas, but at the end of the day, they are going to the same hill. It's just a different roads to the similar hill, and they maybe use this kind of like the focusing ability to focus on something else, but it's the same concept. So for me, it's just be quiet more.
Yeah, no, it's someone asks what you do when you meditate and what you don't move. I think that was answered. Yeah. Also, someone, I want to come back a little bit, someone wrote, I read it and it kind of stuck with me, that in the gym, people don't do their practice at home now when they're confined, because in Spain, for example, you can't go out in nature, like you have to stay inside the apartment. That in the gym you make the mind switch, and it's really hard for people to do that at home. And I wanted to touch on this for a second, that people shouldn't separate like the movement practice and then life. And the same with meditation, like at some point you don't separate, like you have a formal practice of meditation when you sit and you just observe. But then I think the same as with movement practice, you want to take it and just extend it into your life. And then just don't do the switch. It's not that I'm training now and then like I'm moving and then I'm not moving when I do my practice and when I don't do my practice. And I think it became easy to me to stick to it when I just like the lines have blurred. Like I move all the time. Then I just do a formal practice, and the same thing with meditation. I'm being mindful all the time. I'm observing myself all the time. And then I do the formal practice, which is more profound, I think.
Yeah, of course, the sitting practice, it should be, and it should start there. It should be like the starting of the practice itself. But at the end of the day, you would like to have this kind of state all day long, and it's very difficult. I'm not able to do it. But you have people who will tell you, now I'm able to meditate, or I have this meditation practice when I do my surfing or when I do the skateboarding, because they will like detach from the normal life and they will focus on the skateboard. But if they are not able to take this state of mind into the normal life, it's not the same. What I would like to do is to take this state of mind and live with this kind of, peaceful, observing mind that is not attached necessarily to something, and that is able to choose whatever they want. They are not running on autopilot, but they are able to choose if I will get angry or if I get happy, if I will get sad or if I will smile. But it should be a decision. It should not be like automatic response to something, and you will recognize that it's not you who are driving this life. It's something, but it's not me. It's not my decision. It's my behavior. It's my automatic stuff, kind of.
Yeah, I agree. Because like the more you practice, the more you bring it into everything, like washing dishes, and then like the patterns that we develop, and I think everyone has their own, like you don't act on them anymore, which are destructive for your decision, as you're saying. Like, so yes. If you have problems with anger, for example, you just watch yourself getting angry. You don't really act on that in any way. You just observe the being of something and the presence of something in the universe, but you don't really make it tangible. So yeah, I think, but it comes with time. I don't think you should, like, people are deliberately doing this, but just with practice, this lines got blurry, I think. And then like you catch yourself on being completely present and watchful at every moment.
Yeah, and I would like to add one more thing to this switch. When you are not able to go to the gym and you are at home and you need to do this mental switch. I remember when we were practicing in Israel, like for the first time in Tel Aviv, in the gym where Roy Goldschmidt is teaching. You have no idea how the gym was dirty. Like, that was the most dirtiest floor ever, and we were doing the floor work for 4 hours. We were like bathing in the sweat and in the dust and in all this shit, and I felt so dirty. You could not imagine. It was not the street. It was like gym dust. And I know that Ido told us it doesn't matter where we are now. You have a task. Do the switch, do the job, go home and shower. But now don't think about it, because it doesn't matter anyway. You have to do it anyway. So do the switch now. And it's the same with all the practice. You would like to do the juggling? Do it now. Don't find an excuse that I cannot do it and I can do it and I have to and there is a wall and whatever. No, do it. Just make decision. That's it. And I kind of like Joko Willings, if you know him, the big marine dude. Like, how do I get thinner, or how do I lose weight? Don't eat that much. What? Don't eat bad food. But I would like to have a chocolate. Don't eat it. Like that's it. That's the advice. Just don't do it. Make the decision. That's it. Like, okay, you are right, kind of. So do the switch itself. It's not that difficult, or maybe it's difficult, but it's not that hard to find a way. It's maybe hard to do this decision, but just do it.
Yeah. I agree.
And there was a question, how do I see the movement culture 5-10 years from now? I have no idea. But Let me tell you something. As I told you before, I know Ido from 2013. Every time we meet him in mentorship meeting, every time, and that's 3 times per year, the guy is different. Like he's changing and evolving so much, and I have to respect it so much because he's changing, like his opinions, and not only the practice itself that he's adding new stuff or but he is changing. He's very honest with himself and with us, and he's able to say this was the biggest mistake we have done, and we are not going to do it again. We are going to focus on different stuff now, on different things. So it's definitely going to be different practice that it used to be. Like look at Ido 5 years from now. Look at Ido 5 years ago. Those would be like different personas. And of course, the methods and how to, it's going to stay. So we know how to put a person on one hand, but is it worth to do it? That's a different question. So he's adding more and more knowledge, and I've never find someone who is able to like take something very difficult, like chew on it, create list what to do, and he is able to teach other people how to do it. And not only like a difficult stuff and practice, but he will find something that is important to do. Not only like a funny stuff and it's a game, but it's important. And you will find years later why that was important. And some of the practice that I do, it's still kind of mystery for me why we have started with this at the first place. But it is important. So what he's adding to our core practice, like to this very necessary thing that we do, like the spine work or object manipulation on tactical stuff, this is kind of like those are the pillars of the practice. But what he's going to add, nobody knows. Like something that he will think that it's useful for him and for us as well, for the other people, for the benefit of the community.
Yeah, I remember the changing thing, that he changes so much was one of the things that struck me the most. That like every time you meet him, there is something different, and he evolved so much as a human. That was one of the reasons, and obviously the depth of the practice and his ability to teach it to anyone, and the just, I don't know, it's something, he has some innate capacity to teach anything. That was something that's striking me, and but the capacity to change and admit his failures and to refine things in such a way that he always peels off like the things that are not important. He peels it off and peels and peels. And yeah, that was, I remember there was just a moment when everything started to make sense and it clicked that, oh, okay, I'm not doing handstand for the sake of doing handstand, you know, like the string work is important, but it's not. And yeah, in fact, this is the leader you want to follow at the end. Like, to see someone who is capable of inducing so much change in himself. Obviously, I think it's the sign of the ability to also induce it in other people. Not always, but yeah.
Also, this ability to change, not to invent some stuff and to find something new and like funny, but to change. For me, it's a sign of a great maturity, that you are able to recognize that you made a mistake, and you are so mature that you will say that was a mistake, or that is not necessary anymore because there are more important things that we can do, and it will benefit us in a different way. Yeah. That's the thing, that the stuff that we do in the gym, it's not the stuff that we benefit from. We get something else out of it, but how to explain it, I don't know. Lifelong discovery.
Yeah, exactly. For me, it's always like, I always say that it's very important, especially for people who begin, just start, like to solve the mobility issues, the strength issues, but it's so easy to get hooked on that and don't see past these things. Like, nobody says that it's not important at all. Like a person who is not able to touch the floor with his hands, of course you want to solve this issue, but
Yes.
yeah, I'm trying, like I'm always, especially new people are coming, so my older students, they have heard it from me for a million times, but like I'm really trying to make a point, especially when we're having a like a cycle in the program, when we do more mobility or more strength work for one reason or another, that this is not something you should fixate on. You do this, but don't put it in the center of your practice. And yeah, I find it complicated to explain this to people and to like make them understand and see through these kind of things. And I also understand that you cannot not do them at all, because you need to prevent yourself from injuries. Like some people who are really weak, like they will not be able to do anything really, like in the realm of the bigger practice. But yeah, for me, the biggest challenge was always to make people see through these things. And also, like, let's be honest, most people are just coming to these things because they see it in internet, they see like Roy doing this crazy stuff, you know, like, and one-arm handstands, and which is great things, but they're not that important really. And this is something that I really struggle to explain to people most of the times, especially those who just come into the practice. So, like, what is your way of communicating to newcomers? What is the essence of what you're doing?
Well, I believe that it's some kind of self-filtering mechanism, because whoever is coming to my classes, and if he or she already made some kind of research and came to the class like physically, there had to be some decision behind it. And if they would like to be the strongest person in the world, they will not come to me. And if they would like to be like the most juggling people, or people with the juggling ability, or the most mobile people, they will not come to me. They came for a different reason. And the first thing, I have to honor that decision, because somebody really like get up and come to my gym and give me money. And second, I don't think they do expect with all the honesty that they will become Roy, because they would need to be fucking serious about the practice and do something different maybe, and they will not come to my gym. And honestly, I need to be honest to myself as well. With myself, I am not going to produce Roys. And it's not my goal even. It's very important, because my students are normal people, like average folks, and they will practice. And as I said before, they will practice hard, but not 8 hours per day. They have a different kind of life, and they made a different decisions. But anyway, the practice itself could be very useful for them, and I'm going to continue to teach those people.
Yeah. No, it's useful for everyone, of course, and everyone who comes. I want to believe that come for the right reason always. And, it really, like, I appreciate it a lot also from people putting their trust. But it's again like, yeah, people. I expect people to trust the process and trust me as a teacher when they come.
The comment, one Roy is enough.
I agree. You don't need more than that. He's not a good example also. He's not a good example.
They could be only one Roy.
Yes. He's not a good example. Don't take him as example, guys, please. Because there are people who ask me, oh, will I be able to do this thing? I'm like, no. That's it. Just don't ask me anymore.
Like 99%, no.
Yeah. And what was your first encounter though? How did you find the practice yourself? And how did you decide to like go for it alone?
Well, I've seen a video, the first one, the self-dominance. Self-dominance, yeah. That is a legendary one. And at that time, I did the CrossFit for 6 years, and I thought that I'm strong and I'm capable of doing stuff. And I just thought to myself, this guy is not human. He's not normal. He's like a mobile and doing the bridges and handstand and stuff. All I want to do is to do the squats and pull-ups and deadlifts and do more of it and more weight and more reps and stuff like this. But when I quit CrossFit, Ido did Ido did Movement X in Germany. So I went there for a weekend, and I discovered that no, I was not strong. I was not mobile. I did not have any capacity for his kind of work. For something else maybe, but that was the different perspective, how to see the movement capacity and strength and stuff, and I was hooked. And after that, I went to Singapore to first movement camp, 2014, and that was the beginning. So what was the most important why I choose it, or why I choose to follow him or follow his thinking and lead, is his perspective. It was very different from everything that I knew to this point, and that was impressive. That there is somebody who is able to see the world of the sports and performance and strength and movement in a different way than the rest of the world. Yeah. And of course, Ido would tell you that he didn't invent anything. That it's something that he was able to compile, and he's like taking the stuff that other people are doing, but he's presenting in a so much different way, and with a so different perspective that it's super impressive.
It is. I agree. That was also the thing that struck me the most, and also it was the video, the self-dominance video. I saw it, and I was like, okay, what this guy does. And the next day, I paid for online coaching. I was so. My friend Sam, you met Sam, no? She told, look up this guy. I put Ido Portal. This was the first video that came up, and I was like, oh my God. But yeah, again, when I first came to Movement X in Prague, I had a completely different mentality, like completely different. And I remember he has the capacity to read what your intentions are. He was really tough on me this time, I remember, and it was like, why? But then I decided to stay. I was like, well, everything he told me that felt bad, like itchy, was true. Like, he didn't lie, he didn't offend me for no reason, but like, he just said things about me that should be better. That's it. He just pointed out the things in my mentality overall that should be better. And that was like the first bell, and that it started my curiosity. And then after some time going to events and meeting him in person, I saw everything that we were talking about, and it just struck me that nobody else was able to look at the essence of things. That's true, he didn't invent anything, but he did invent the terminology.
Well, terminology and maybe again the perspective. The combination, the ability to see the things from different angles, and many other stuff, of course.
I'm telling my students often that it's not just one perspective, but it's kind of he puts your glasses like a dragonfly, so you see things from all the different angles, but always having like kind of the center in mind that you build it upon, which is movement. So that's kind of my way of trying to explain this always, because it's not, it is a perspective, but it's kind of many perspectives at once at the same time, that you can look at the same thing.
I don't want to say it, but it's kind of philosophy. It's like it's a strong word, but it's a philosophy. It's a way how to look at work, and at the problems, at the practice, and at the life itself. So for me, it's huge, of course, obviously.
I agree completely. Like, I built my entire life around it. So
there is no other way.
I know, and I also tried like everything around me, and I see it a little bit in my students that are staying with me for longer already. Like I see them starting to organize themselves around the practice and not all the way around. They like restructure their life slowly in a different way, and it affects positively everything else. That's like what I'm enjoying to see the most. Then people come and I see how they change and how their lives change. And
but you know, this is something that is not visible from outside that much. But ability to work on the very hard task, that you need to balance the stick on your shoulder or whatever. It goes from -0 seconds to something, but you are able to solve the problem at the end of the day. And how do you expect that you will solve something serious in your life if you are not able to solve this? If you are not able to commit to solving this? And I'm sure that there are people who are solving very serious and difficult problems, but you want to train this state of mind, do hard shit. And it doesn't need to be, you know, picking up the heavy barbells. Hard shit it's this practice, because it's so difficult sometimes, but it's teaching you how to stay on the path, how to be consistent, how to, you know, don't throw it out of the window, but pick it up again, smile, breathe, do it again, and it will happen. And I always tell my students that they will eventually learn it all. It will take years, but they will learn it. There is no hurry. They could practice like every day a bit, and if they stay on the path, they will balance the stick for 1 minute. And after that, I will give them another task and they will do it all again. But there is no hurry in taking another object, because there will be another task. And this is kind of preparation. This is kind of easy. Balancing the stick. Do you want to have an illness? And do you know how to deal with that? Or some difficult situation with the bank and with the loan that you got? This is difficult. That would be difficult. So prepare for it, because it will come sooner or later. And whoop, you have coronavirus. This is a difficult situation. So how do you cope with it? What was your preparation? How did you prepare for a difficult situation like this? And Leonardo here is asking, how do you suggest with Edo if you are a student? Well, that would be a subject for itself. Of course, you could go to a workshop, you could sign up for online coaching, but a workshop is better, because if you see Edo in real person, you will understand what we are talking about, maybe. And let me tell you, we have plenty of students in our classes. And yes, it's expensive, but that's the way it is. It's kind of first filter that you will encounter. It's difficult to do it, yes. Even financially, yes. Do you still want to do it? Okay, do something. Find 2 jobs. Like my students and even my teachers who are now teaching for me, they went through this period as well. It was expensive for them. They had 2 jobs. They woke up at 4. They did their practice, and after that they went to school. They went to work, and they do it all again and again. And it was difficult, and it is difficult, because guess what? It's not going to get easier. Never.
Exactly. This is important for people to understand, that nothing worthy in life is coming easy. And I think like our culture is it's telling us everything, like overload with information and everything. Just we see people on I don't know, like yachts, thinking that they have never. We have 30 seconds remaining, because it stops I think after an hour. Oh. That's a good note to it shows me 20 seconds left for the chat. Petr, that was a pleasure. I think that's a good note to finish it. And Petr, Pohyb, život, Czech Republic. Everyone, when this is over, go to his classes. And guys, thank you very much.